Have you ever heard of Pokemon? You know, that kid's game where you capture small creatures and force them to battle for your enjoyment? The one that all the kids on the playground were talking about, displaying their teams to one another on their tiny little handheld devices, trading and talking about the mythical Mew that was hidden under a truck? Yes? Good, because otherwise we'd be in quite the awkward situation. Like I said, Pokemon is a kid's game, so therefore it's easy, right? Well, yes, oftentimes the games are a cakewalk, but as a 22-year-old who needs to be beaten, battered, and overall challenged to achieve a sense of accomplishment, I took it upon myself to do a Nuzlocke of one of my favorites, Pokemon Emerald. For those of you who don't know what a Nuzlocke is, it's fairly simple. The basic rule is that any Pokemon who faints is out for good. No reviving them. You just have to shove them away in a box or release them into the wild. In addition to this, the player is limited to one encounter per area, and nicknames must be applied to every Pokemon that is caught, just to sort of create a more personal connection. I decided to take it a step further with the handful of rules being displayed on the screen right now. Put that all together, and you've got yourself a challenge so vile that it'll likely take a few tries to complete, and a few videos to display. I hope you enjoy, and if you like the video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind later on. But without further ado, my name's Boy Skinny, and welcome to the hell that was my first Nuzlocke. We began our journey by listening to Professor Birch talk about Pokemon for just too long, naming ourselves Izzy Gill, and being shoved into the back of a moving truck. Upon our arrival in Littleroot Town, we headed inside, set our clock, missed our dad on TV, and left to visit the neighbors. We had a quick chat with their kid, Brendan, then headed out to the tall grass and grabbed a mudkip from Birch's bag to help fend off the wild Zigzagoon. We headed back to the lab, named our new friend Winston, and set out to find Brendan north of town. A quick battle with him and his Trico, and we returned home. Got a Pokédex, some Pokeballs, and a pair of shoes from our mom. Thanks, Mom. And left to finally begin our Pokemon adventure. Now, here's the thing about this Nuzlocke. We don't get to use our starter. So now that we had some Pokeballs, it was time for our first encounter. A Wurmple? Sick, okay. Really not a great start. We named him Norman and moved along, placing Winston in the PC, seeing as we had another Pokemon to accompany us. But surely we'd have better luck on the next route, right? And it was a Wingull, not gonna complain. With the help of Twitch chat, the water bird, a female as you may note, received the name Sheldon? Oh, by the way, I did stream all of this live on Twitch, so you should definitely go check it out sometime, if you're into that sort of thing. We grinded our buddies up to a solid level 5 before moving to Route 102, having our first trainer battle with our new team, sweeping through youngster Calvin's Poochyena with Norman alone, followed by the catching of HM Slave, the Zigzagoon. Continuing along, we fought a couple more trainers, and then came last Tiana. She wasn't tough by any means, but her Zigzagoon landed a crit on Norman, bringing about the first fatality of the run, just over an hour in. This does not bode well. We quickly got over it, shoved him in a box, and moved on. Following our arrival in Petalburg City, we met our dad, as well as Wally, our rival-to-be, who we helped catch at Ralts. I honestly cannot stress enough how rigged this game is. Along the path we went, passing through Route 104, catching a Poochyena who we lovingly named Timothy, and fighting a handful of trainers before entering Petalburg Woods, where we found our first encounter. I'm excited. Alright. Oh, this is our first encounter for Petalburg. What? A Slackoth? I've just never gotten a Slackoth before, so it was honestly pretty exciting. We named her Donna, and along we went. A little ways into the woods, we found a man, alone, in search of mushrooms? I mean, you do you, my man, no judgment here. Shortly after, though, our moment with this lone man was rudely interrupted by a grunt from none other than Team Aqua, who boasted a single Poochyena and a large ego. A tough fight, I imagine. We can only hope that we're prepared for it. He was all bark and no bite. Pun 100% intended. He scurried off. The suited man gave us a great ball, which we can't use because of the only regular Pokeballs rule, and we left the forest, making our way to Rustboro City, the home of the first gym. Upon arriving in Rustboro, we got the quick claw from the Pokemon Trainer School, met a strange man who looked to be vacationing, and showed off every ounce of maturity that we possess in our entire being. Do you know of a funny word or phrase you can tell me? Oh, that's wonderful. So let's hear it, your suggestion. Bart. Satchel. I'm a literal child. Onward to Route 116. We caught ourselves a Tailo, named her Astrid, and went on our merry way, fighting several trainers on our way to the Rusturf Tunnel where, what can we get as our single encounter here? Okay, well, what do we got? Yep, there it is. It's a Whismur. Wow, what a shocker. But it's fine. We named him Dave and moved right along. After a tiny bit of grinding, we returned to the Pokemon Center in town and entered the Rustboro City Gym. Now, look at this team we have here. Excellent team. But to the veterans out there, you see the problem. But to those of you who don't, let me explain short and sweet. First of all, most of our team is severely underleveled, aside from our main Mon, Sheldon. Secondly, Sheldon is flying type. Regardless of her level, she is weak to rock and electric types. And third off, Rustboro's gym is, you guessed it, rock type. So how's this gonna go? Place your bets. Well, the first battle against youngster Josh was a breeze, one-shotting his singular Geodude with Water Gun. The second battle, which we accidentally made into a double battle, was pretty simple too. Just had to Water Gun the Geodudes with Sheldon, while Donna just kinda loafed around. We retreated to heal our Pokemon, re-entering the gym to finally face the leader, Roxanne. To start, she sent out a Geodude, which we took out with a single Water Gun, followed by yet another Geodude, which was taken down the same way. Now, all that stood between us and the Stone Badge was a level 15 Nose Pass, who knew the move Rock Tomb. We moved forward with Sheldon, and with one Rock Tomb, our good friend was no more. Our only possible hope was gone. Not long after, Timothy went down without a hitch, followed by Donna, then Astrid, and finally, HM Slave. And that was the first stream. Next time, we'll go a whole lot better, I'm sure. Yeah, that's a game over. So, damn. Our second attempt started much the same as the first. We chose Torchic this time, but the only thing that changed with that was what starter Brendan took. So it wasn't that big of a deal. We collected our team consisting of Coochiana, the Poochiana, Thick Bob, the Meryl, Caterpie, the Wurmple, and Lucinda, the Tailo, before tragedy struck with the passing of Coochiana. Can't you tell how sad I was about it? Like I lost a family member. We decked out the box in the PC, giving it a background of blue skies and naming it Heaven, before allowing Cooch to rest there. We're honestly so kind. But anyways, we proceeded to do the only thing we could do, face the gym once again. We were in fact better prepared this time though. With Thick Bob leading the pack, nothing could stand in our way. And that's exactly how it happened. Bob swept Roxanne's team with no trouble, and we were awarded the Stone Badge. Finally, some progress. Moving forward, we came across an old man outside the Rusturf tunnel who was yearning for the return of his dear Wingull. We entered the tunnel, and sure enough, there was an aqua grunt within, standing by the old man's bird. We fought the grunt, beating him with no problems at all, and safely returned the Wingull, named Pico, to the old man, calling himself Mr. Briny. He offered us the use of his boat anytime and promptly left the scene. After exiting the cave, we were greeted by the Devon researcher that we had met in the woods. You know, the one who was in search of mushrooms of all things. Well, he brought us to the top floor of the Devon building, asking us to bring a parcel to Slateport City before allowing us to converse with the president of the company. President Stone sent us on a mission to deliver a letter to a man named Steven in Dewford, gifting us with a Pokenav as well. After a short explanation as to how the nav worked, we were on our way to Dewford. Now, I don't necessarily want to spoil the run for you, but at the same time, I don't really want to spend a lot of time teasing you guys with the unnecessary details of this run. I deem them unnecessary solely due to the fact that this wasn't the winner. I know, dropping bombs here, but no use wasting your time on this. Just let me sum it up for you. We left for Dewford, entered Granite Cave, and caught a Zubat. We delivered the letter to Steven at the very end of the cave and grinded our way up to level 18, evolving Bob in the process. Oh my god, Bob is evolving! We got ourselves an Azumarill now. I did not realize that he was going to evolve that early. We entered the gym with our chin up, ready for whatever it had in store. We plowed through the trainers leading up to the leader, Brawly, but the fight with him was a very different story. I could make this all cinematic, saying things like we traded blows, whittling each other's Pokemon down to a slice of HP before he ended it with one swift strike, deeming him the victor. But that would be dishonest. We made it through to his Makuhita, but none of my Pokemon were any match for that beast. Even Lucinda, whose type resists fighting type attacks, was almost taken down in a single hit. All hope was lost after that KO. Lucinda just died. Are you kidding me? Another try followed that same stream, but we don't talk about that one. Okay, we're just not gonna count it. So, on our third attempt, we started, collected our team, and made our way to Rustboro. We beat the first gym, caught a Whismur, killed the Whismur, and went to Dewford. We entered the cave, failed to catch a Zubat, delivered the letter, and grinded once again. Going into the gym, we didn't exactly have the highest of hopes, but we tried anyway. We made it to Brawly's Meditite, but most of our team was swept by its Focus Punch. But our Shroomish little man survived till the Makuhita. He fought a good fight, but he was no match for that beefcake. We took a break and resumed the following stream. Now our fourth attempt actually seemed promising. It started out the same way as any other, forming the all-star team, zooming through the woods to Rustboro, defeating Roxanne, and moving forward to Dewford. We even got ourselves a Nincada for one of the encounters. Life was good. After arriving on the island, we caught a Makuhita and stepped into the Dewford gym. With a Wingull and a Tailo by our side, it was a quick and easy sweep through Brawly's team. Finally, our group had obtained the Knuckle badge. And before ending stream for the day, we brought our Nincada to become a Ninjask, gaining a Shedinja to our team in the process. This was the furthest we had gotten, and honestly, we were kinda stacked. The ensemble included the only Pokemon that has a natural immunity to nearly 75% of typings in the entire game, for crying out loud. We had the upper hand, and now it was time for the next challenge. Watson, the third gym leader. Moving forward, the kind old sailor Mr. Briney was so generous as to bring us across the sea to the city of Slateport, where we needed to deliver a parcel to one known as Captain Stern. In our search for the captain, we ran into a blockade at the local museum, jam-packed with grunts from none other than Team Aqua. Our arsenal of Pokemon took them out with ease, and we handed the package over to Stern before heading up to Route 110, where we ran into our old friend, Professor Birch. After a quick chat with him, onward we trekked, catching a Gulpin, arguably the worst Pokemon in this game, and moved up along the bridge that encompassed most of the route. We were sitting so high up with our master team, we were ready for anything. Nothing could stop us now. Oh, hey Brendan. Haven't seen you in a while. How are things? This is worse than I thought it would be. And then we just sludge one. Are you kidding me? We just lost 2. So that was a setback. But believe it or not, we did go on to beat Watson with an unexpected hero. Our Dustox, aka Fodder. Somehow, we managed to pull off a win against the 3rd gym with nothing but a Dustox. I never thought I'd see the day, but all good things must come to an end. In the next stream, we took a hefty hike all the way to Lava Ridge Town, took down Flannery, and thought, hey, we've still got time. Let's go back to Petalburg and take on our own father for the 5th badge. I'm sure it'll go great. Don't kill. I think that this might be the end. Yep. There I go. It did not. And that was the end of our 4th attempt. It was so promising, but not promising enough to succeed. We concluded the stream and came back next time with a burning passion. We were determined to emerge victorious, and it was only a matter of time. So, 2 days passed, and it was time for us to begin our 5th attempt at this godforsaken challenge. Were we discouraged? Maybe a little. Were we prepared for a 5th go at this? Maybe not. But were we gonna do it? Of course, because that's my job. Look at the summary of this channel. I will never step down from a challenge. It's all about the content, baby. So, looking forward, we knew we needed to do things a little differently this time around. And so began the run. We took in Mudkip as our starter, and as you know by this point, immediately threw him into the box after snatching up Peanut, the Wurmple. Scoociano was caught shortly after that, and we moved right along. Along Route 102, after battling the few trainers that lined the path, I thought to myself, and out loud to chat too, I suppose, we could try our hand at a Ralts. You know what? Let's do it. And so the plan was concocted to try our luck at getting a Ralts to add to our team. After healing our Pokemon, we dashed into the tall grass only to find a Lotad. It's something. Tinkerbell ended up being the name given to the little frog, and we went on our way. Peanut, being the less than useful Pokemon she is, evolved into a Silcoon, setting us up for the worst of the 2 potential paths in my opinion, the other being Cascoon, and all I could do was express my dislike for the weird cocooned bug thing. I'd rather have a Dustox. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'd rather have a Dustox. We then caught a Marill, named it Ricky, and continued forward into the forest where we encountered a personal favorite of mine, Shroomish, aptly naming it Pog. Breloom is just too good not to have. I don't know what to tell you. With this new addition to the team, we tossed Tinkerbell directly into the box, having no further use for her. I've got a water type and a grass type now. Why would I need both in one package? Very unlikely. Goodbye, Tink. See you never. We went back through the forest, arriving in Rustboro, where we went and caught ourselves a Whismur, naming it Turnip after one of our beloved viewers. With little to no resistance, we carved through the first gym, nabbing ourselves the stone badge and departing for Dewford. Upon arrival, our crew stepped foot into Granite Cave with a repel active. Hoping for a half-decent Pokemon, our luck came back around and gave us our Lord and Savior, Giga Chad, the Aaron. I've never had an Aaron before, mind you, so I was stoked and worried at the same time. I didn't want to mess up with my lack of knowledge of its typings and such, so I wanted to make sure we played it safe. We found Steven, did what we needed to do, and exited the cave. We grinded for a bit, evolving Ricky into an Azumarill, leaving us with quite the hefty team. And, with one fell swoop, we took down Brawly, granting us our 2nd badge. Okay. Wow, alright. Now we were making progress. It wasn't the furthest we'd ever gotten yet, but we were about halfway. The next order of business was getting more Pokemon to add to our arsenal, starting with a Magikarp named Timmy. He was a begrudging addition to the team on my end at first, but I slowly became more and more fond of him. Mr. Briney then sailed us to Slateport, where we took on some Team Aqua Grunts with ease. We made our way up to Route 110, where we got a hold of a really cool Pokemon. And finally, before wrapping up stream for the night, Timmy learned Tackle, bringing him up that first peg on my board of likability. Honestly, I had a pretty good feeling about this attempt. Now here's the thing, this is only the first of 3 parts, so if you're interested in what happened next, subscribe and hit the bell. That way you'll get a nice little message when part 2 comes out. But in the meantime, if you need more content to indulge in, more skinny, more of me, check out my Twitch. I'm probably doing some dumb little challenge or something right now, so you don't want to miss out. Now, as always, have a good one, stay safe, and I'll see you around. I think we're good to go.